And she is, look at her, darling. Isn't she the darling? And she, well, she wants her mama and papa, but here she is. Is there something you want her to do?
Yeah, I'd like her to walk and talk.
A little more. That would be a good idea if you could get her to talk, to walk. Oh, come on.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to be here, although I'm sorry that I can't be with you. I'd much rather be with you, but you must understand that it's really impossible for me to make the trip. I should have loved to have done it, and I don't know how to tell it to you, but it must be purely the habits I have. I cannot take a trip, a long trip, and I don't like sleeping somewhere else because I'm an old lady. And when you get to be old, you have habits that you can't change, and you might as well stick to them. And I feel that it would do me harm, really, if I did go. So you please excuse me. And I wish it were possible for me to say, I hope you come and see me. I can say it, but I do hope it. I wish it were possible for you to come. And whenever you could make it, just let me know, and I'll be happy to see you. Now, there are so many things I'd like to talk about, but I really feel as though I don't want to take your time with that. I thought I would tell you first about my place where I live. It's a very, very nice place. And at first it was difficult for me to get used to because I've been living in apartments for so long, that is after the country and after Staten Island. And talking of Staten Island, the real reason we left Staten Island is that we had 4 robberies in 1 year. And the last robbery was the most unusual, let me put it that way. I was sitting in my downstairs. Most of you have been to the Staten Island place, and I was sitting downstairs doing my crossword puzzle in the morning. And it happened that day, Abraham and Frida and I had to go to the doctor early and get a blood test, so we didn't have breakfast. Then we had breakfast when we got back. And then Abraham took Frida to shop a little and then to take her home. And I was sitting there, as I tell you, with my crossword puzzle, and all of a sudden I sort of felt there was a shadow near me, and somebody was standing over me, and he put a purse on my table right next to me, and I said, oh, this is my purse. It was one of those envelope bags that you keep under your arm, and I must have dropped it when I left the car, because when I told him what happened, and I looked up and I said, I opened it up and I said, I see my purse here, but where's my money? He said, I took it. He said, I'm a thief, but I do not hurt. I do not hurt anybody. So I said to him, well, if you're a thief, I'm sorry, but it's bad luck for you, because I've had 3 other people only in 1 month who cleaned out the place. And if you can find anything that's of value, be my guest. He looked at me, and he had a handkerchief over his face, and he was white, and he had, I think, some sort of reddish hair. I can see him, and very tall and young. And I was scared, naturally, but I didn't show it to him. And he said to me, I can't get over how calm you are. I said, so why shouldn't I be calm? I said, you tell me you're a thief. I wouldn't like that. And you say you don't hurt. So I said, be my guest. Here's a place right here. You can start here and look and see what you can find. So he went to I had a big one of those very large, old-fashioned, the bureau and things. And he opened up the drawer, couldn't find anything. I said, I told you, but you're going to go right through the house, I suppose. But I said, nothing I can do about it. And he said, you're so calm. I wish you was my mother. I said, if I was your mother, you wouldn't be here. So he said, he didn't say anything. He just sort of, shook his shoulders, and he continued looking. And there was nothing around. There was nothing of any value left. They had stolen all our brass and all the other stuff we've had, and Abraham's, what do you call those dolls that he brought from Germany, and they'd stolen everything. So I said, well, go ahead. He says, I want to go upstairs. So I said, okay, you go upstairs. And I went first. And he said to me, aren't you afraid that I'll have a gun in back of you? I said, go ahead and shoot. You said you don't hurt. I can't get over how calm you are. So I said, I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. I believe you. You look, outside of being a thief, you look honest. I said, if I can say it. But there it is. I wish you was my mother. And up he went. I didn't let him go into the middle room where there might have been something, the middle floor. We went up to the bedroom, my bedroom. And he started looking for things. And lucky for him, he found a ring of Abe's that was in my drawer. But it wasn't a good one, so I didn't care. So I said, oh, look, they must have skipped that. It's your good luck. And I was sitting there absolutely petrified because I didn't know what was going to happen if Abe came in and brought Frida back. But thank God, I was able to say to him, believe me, you'd better go because there's nothing left. You can see there's nothing of value. And he went downstairs, just one flight, and he went out. And believe me, I really afterwards felt terrible. I called the police, then Abraham came home. But it was something that I'll never forget because it was laughable, and yet I was so surprised at myself that I could be so calm about it, in spite of the fact that he really was a thief. And you didn't know, how could you trust him? And afterward, the more I thought of it, the worse I felt because, the fright I had. And the policeman sent a woman over to talk to me. These people who are supposed to calm you down and make you feel better. But I told her, I said, I really feel calm now. I'm not excited, so forget about it, because they really make a fuss about it, and it wasn't worth it. And that was the end of that thing. So after that, we decided to leave, to get out, because it was silly. 4 times in 1 year we were robbed. But of course, the trouble was this. We used to leave the house every weekend because we went up to the country, where you are now. And the country, believe me, was a little bit different from what it is now. But that's another story. And we decided, we had been up to this farm place about 16 miles. I think it was 16 miles south of it. And we stayed there for a whole summer, and it was really lovely grounds, as most of you know, because you have been here. And if you don't, then come again, and I know that Beverly will be glad to see you. And we saw this place, and we bought it. It was a farmhouse, an old farmhouse. It was 100 years old. And when we bought it, it was 100 years old. And we started furnishing it, and my papa broke the wall. There was a big, big kitchen, and it was a sort of cellar downstairs. And he broke the wall, and he made one room out of it. So our sitting room downstairs was about 32 feet long, in which we were able to have a lot of parties and a lot of people coming. But anyway, we liked it very much, and for a whole year we enjoyed it. But the trouble was that we always had to leave it because I had to go to school, and Abraham had to go to school, and it was only for weekends and the holidays that we were able to come up. Excuse me. And we used it, and it was fun. We enjoyed it. And I think I went to Hawaii. I know it was 1939. We bought this in 1937. And I think, no, I wasn't there when they had the fire. I don't think I did. There was. We had it then. We had a fire. A house burned down to the ground. And there was the only thing that was left was the chimney. And they let us know. They called us up. And it seems that there was a boy living there. It was the same thing that happens in so many places. A young boy who was absolutely, they told us that he had no sense at all. He was crazy. And he had burnt 5 other homes on the hill. So we weren't the only ones who had that tragedy happened to us. But there it was, no house in the country. And if it were not for Beverly's father, we wouldn't have had the house that we have now. Because he, knowing so many people, being the plumber, he knew he had friends who were able to come and do first of all, they made the maps for the architect. And there was no architect, a real professional one. Each one of them was good in his work. But that we didn't have professionals working. The only thing in this house that was done by professionals was the big roof on top and the fireplace downstairs, because that was one of Herman's good friends, and he was able to do that. That was his work. But otherwise, and my friends came all the time, and my family came, so we built the house. Of course, the house, when I had it, doesn't look like what you see now, what you have it here. And I know I miss seeing it the way it is now. And I understand it's beautiful, and I do hope that you're going to enjoy your place here. And I'm here in Miami, and I'm at a home that is really very, very nice. First of all, we had a condo on West Avenue, that's near Lincoln Road in Miami. Any one of you who know Miami Beach will know where Lincoln Road is, and most of you, I'm sure, know it. And we stayed in the condo for about 5 years, and we stayed there until Abraham felt he wasn't well, you know, and we decided that we should go to a home. I'd take him to the home. And he went to the home, and they wouldn't let him stay with me. I had taken 3 rooms there, and I thought he'd stay with me, but they wouldn't let him because he was too sick to be with me. And in a way, it was a very good thing for me, because it took the responsibility that having those things happen to me and getting me away from 3-floor house that we had in Staten Island, and then the condo, which was only 3 rooms too. It was a big change for me. And actually, I had to make more different friends. It was a little different. But this house that I'm in now, it's an apartment house in Miami, and it's well known, and it's a comfortable place to be in. And the food is good. I get 1 meal a day, and I do breakfast, and I do lunch, and do you want me to move somewhere? Do you want me to do
No, you're good.
else?
You're good where you are.
Uh-huh. Well, anyway, so I'm enjoying it here because I always say the place is what you yourself make. It's not even the place where what people are going to do for you. And I'm lucky that I have my sister, I have my niece, I have 2 nieces, and I have grandniece, and here I have a baby, and it's really wonderful. They're very, very good to me. And otherwise, what can I tell you? Life goes on. You get older every day, and there's nothing that you can do about it. You just get older. And you hope that the next day you'll get up, and when you see the sun and the rise, you're happy that you're alive, because you never know how you're going to manage. And the time that I spend here, we get a lot of, there are a lot of things happening. Jack, that's Fanchon's husband, he gives a course in ceramics and the art things, and you can do anything. There are a great many things you can do. So I manage to, my time goes, and I read, and I enjoy just being alive. And I think I'm going back to the fact that I do hope that some of you, that all of you can find time and naturally the money to come down to see me. And then we can talk and I can speak to you. Now I'd like to have my niece that you will not hear, see, my grandniece, come on and you talk to them.
Where's my baby?
Good.
Stephen Paulson.
Debbie. Jessica.
I just want to say hi. We're sorry that we can't be with you, but we just really couldn't make the trip this time. We're fortunate, though, in the fact that every Friday night we get to share our Friday evenings with the oldest and the youngest member of the family, which is really a treat. And Jessica's learning to get to know everybody down here, and unfortunately she doesn't get to see all of you, but hopefully she'll see you soon. And she likes my shoulders quite a bit, especially at this time of night when she's ready to go to bed. But I think that's about it.
Oh, that's nice. I meant to tell you, and this makes the best thing really down here. Every Friday night I come to Judy's and Joe's house, and he has they make dinner with friends and naturally the family. And it's wonderful.
The real Shabbos.
It's just wonderful.
Grandma, why don't you come in?
A real Shabbos dream.
A real, and yes, and they say the prayers, and to me it means so much. It's really lucky that I have my family.
And we're lucky to have you.
Oh,
She's
thank
lucky
you.
that she has me.
Fanchon, you'll see Fanchon, but she's right here too. Come here, Fan.
I'm here. I'm here with it.
You can say a word. You can
All I
say,
can say is that we only speak to each other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, maybe, and sometimes more. And we see each other at least once a week, so
yes,
that's good.
darling. Yes, darling.
And that's all I can tell you.
Have fun. I think that's it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Goodbye.
Yes, goodbye. And good luck to you.
Goodbye.
And, oh, one more thing I do want to say. I meet a lot of the people downstairs, and there's a very nice place to sit downstairs, and they get to talking, and most of them are always so unhappy, and they really do feel, they make me feel that I wish my mother were here, because my mother used to do this. Whenever anybody said anything that was nice or, to you, she'd always brush up on an horror. And you know what that means? It means, what does it mean in English? I forgot what it means.
I can't help you on that.
What?
It means that you should have good luck.
It means that you should have good luck. And it's really a magical thing, which she learned in Russia. And that's a good story, because one of the things, in order to learn that, you're not allowed to have it taught to you, the prayer. You're supposed to, I'm supposed to get it out of the air. I don't know how they do it. But they do get it, they do have to find some way to learn it. And when my mother was in Europe, she had a relative who was deaf, more or less. Is it out?
No, keep going.
Well, I'll have to, I can't go on.
There's more.
Okay, come on, there's more.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, this relative knew that prayer, and she used to say the prayer